How do we make a diagnosis of asthma? The best screening test would be to measure the peak flow using the peak flow meter. This peak flow meter is very inexpensive gadget. It is a basic tool in every general practitioner's office. Diagnosis of asthma can be suspected by demonstrating the presence of airway obstruction using peak flow meter. If the peak flow is less than 80% of the predicted peak flow for that age and sex and race, then we can suspect that the patient may be having asthma. Of course, the confirmatory test or the diagnostic test is the pulmonary function test. Diagnosis of asthma can be confirmed by demonstrating the presence of reversible airway obstruction using spirometry. What will be the picture like in spirometry, we will see in the subsequent slides. In the previous slide, we have seen the computer based pulmonary function testing. Today, it is small handheld spirometers are available. These are something like your glucose monitors, wherein the patient can blow into the small gadget which is handheld, and you directly get the reading of FEV1 and the FEV1 by FVC ratio. Based on that, we can make a diagnosis. These are very convenient gadgets for outpatient use. Once we obtain a spirometry reading, the curve can be flow volume curve or volume time curve. Usually the flow volume curve is more easy to understand, and this is what is represented here. So the flow is, this is the expiration, this is the peak of expiration, maximum expiratory flow, and this is the expiratory flow rate in liters per second. This is the maximum expiratory flow or PEF, and then the respiratory effort comes down to the resting level. This is the residual volume, and all this is the forced vital capacity volume in liters. From here to here is the forced vital capacity. Then the inspiratory flow is inscribed in the curve here at the bottom of the baseline. So the very appearance of the curve will give us an immediate diagnosis whether there could be an obstruction, or how severe is the obstruction. So this is a flow volume curve. Here I have presented some flow volume curves of obstructive disease and restrictive disease. Look here, the flow volume curve in a patient of expiratory difficulty, that is obstructive disease. This is the normal flow volume curve, and this is a patient with obstructive respiratory disease, so called asthma, reduced peak flow, scooped out mid curve as that is scooped out. In cases of severe obstruction, a steeple pattern, reduced peak flow and rapid fall off all are seen, as can be seen in this curve. Whereas in a patient with restrictive lung disease, where the lungs fail to expand but the airways are normal, there is no obstruction to the outflow, but the filling of the lungs is at fault due to reduced lung compliance. In such a case, the curve shape will look normal, but the forced vital capacity, the volume will be less. Here look here, the volume for the normal one is so much, here the volume is only this much here. When you have a spirometry report, there are several readings that are printed in that. Please try to ignore all those readings except pointing at only two things. What is the forced vital capacity? What is the forced expiratory volume in the first second? That is called the FEV1, and what is the ratio of FEV1 by FVC. These are good enough to make a diagnosis. Forced vital capacity, FEV1 and FEV1 by FVC. Of course, peak expiratory flow rate is also a useful measure, and forced expiratory time, it is called the FET, which is prolonged in a case of asthma. As far as spirometry is concerned, there are no fixed normal values, just like a blood pressure 120 by 80, a heart rate around 80. So there are no normal values. The normal value of a spirometry result depends on various variables like the age, the sex, the height, the weight and the ethnicity. The observed value is always expressed as the percentage of the predicted value for a given patient of that particular age, that particular gender, height and weight and ethnicity. What is the predicted value and what is the observed value expressed as a proportion or percentage of the predicted value. Let us say the predicted value for a man aged 50 years Indian is, let us say, 3 liters FVC, and if his observed value is 2.5 liters, 2.5 by 3 is expressed as the percentage, which is nothing but 5 out of 6, that is around 70%. So FVC or forced vital capacity is normal if it is more than 80% of the predicted. FEV1, forced expiratory volume in the first second, is normal if it is more than 80% of the predicted. FEV1 by FVC ratio should be at least 75. PEFR normal if it is more than 80% of the predicted. PEFT or forced expiratory time, anything less than 4 seconds is normal, more than 4 seconds we call the FET as prolonged because of bronchial obstruction or bronchostenosis. The typical FEV1 tracings will be like this. This is the time in seconds and this is the volume. This is the time volume graph, unlike what we have seen earlier of the flow volume graph. The time volume graph, the normal subject, the FEV1 will be more than 80%. That means 80% of the volume of the air is expelled out or exhaled out in the first second. In a patient who has got asthmatic bronchi, asthmatic tendency or bronchoconstriction, the FEV1 may be reduced to as much as 40%. And after bronchodilator, it may show an improvement around 20% more, so it may go up to 60%, but nonetheless it is less than the normal value. So each FEV1 curve represents the best of the 3 efforts by the patient. So the blue curve here is the normal, the yellow one is the bronchial asthma, the pink one is the one of the same patient of bronchial asthma after bronchodilator. This table summarizes the features of obstructive lung disease and restrictive lung disease as compared to normal lungs. In the normal lung, there is no problem in the air in and air out. Both the inspiratory capacity and the expiratory capacity are normal. Inspiratory function and expiratory function are normal. In obstructive lung disease, the inspiratory effort is all right, but the patient is unable to get the air out or the obstruction for the outflow. Whereas in restrictive lung disease, the patient is unable to get the air in. It's an inspiratory problem. Obstructive lung disease is an expiratory problem. Restrictive lung disease is an inspiratory problem. The forced vital capacity is at least 80% or more in case of normal individuals. It may be normal or decreased in obstructive lung disease. It is usually decreased in restrictive lung disease, as well as total lung capacity also is decreased. Whereas FEV1, forced expiratory volume in the first second, in the normal lungs more than 80% is predicted. In case of obstructive lung disease, it is less than 80% or even less. Whereas in restrictive disease, the FEV1 is normal because there is no outflow obstruction. The FEV1 by FVC ratio, minimum it should be 75% if it is normal. Anything less than 70% or less is obstructive. It may be normal or increased in case of restrictive lung disease. PEFR, peak expiratory flow rate, at least 80% is predicted normal, and then less than 80% or is even lesser is obstructive, and then in restrictive disease PEFR is normal because there is no outflow obstruction. Forced expiratory volume in seconds, forced expiratory time less than 4 seconds, prolonged more than 4 seconds, and then in case of restrictive lung disease it is less than 4 seconds. But then a patient may have a combined obstructive and restrictive picture. For example, a patient with bronchial asthma who also had a previous tuberculosis and fibrosis, he might have an obstructive and restrictive lung disease where the pattern then will be a mixed one.